Another injury for the Toronto Blue Jays. On Saturday, George Springer hit the ball into his toe. In preseason, we lost half our starting rotation. And now, by the time those guys are back, we will have half a batting order. You cannot draw this up. In the first two games of the Jays' weekend series against the Minnesota Twins, we got runs. Lots of runs. But it also came at a cost. Today, we're going to talk about another injury that hits the heart of the Toronto Blue Jays batting order. We're going to talk about the offense explode for both teams on Friday and Saturday. And we're going to talk about a defense that continues to leak runs. This is The Morning Whistle. My name is Aaron Nerona. With Alejandro Kirk and Addison Barger out of the batting order, the Jays lineup has already felt a bit shorthanded. And it got worse on Saturday. George Springer fouled a ball off of his left big toe. It was actually the second consecutive game he hit himself in that foot with the ball. And after running to first, he left the game. The Jays, by time the game ended, confirmed that he has a left big toe fracture. He's currently under further evaluation, and Schneider couldn't say anything for certain, but we know that there was some fracture in his bone. So it sounds like he's going to miss time. And it is really hard to not feel cursed right now. From injuries to multiple starting pitchers in the preseason to now losing multiple bats, John Schneider has had to do a ton of shuffling. And I've already spoken about how I felt the Jays needed another bat. Springer's injury will not help. In April, I don't get concerned too much about wins and losses, but I get concerned about our lineup. Our pitching has been stretched to start the season with Savage, Bieber, and Barrios all on the IL. Now, as those guys return, it looks like they're going to come back to a diminished batting order. We're currently missing Kirk, Barger, Springer, Santander. The horror show continues. Now, one good thing we did see over the weekend were home runs. And after a couple of tighter games against the Dodgers, this series has so far been filled with runs and homers. On Friday, after the Jays fell down 4-0, the batting order found its 2025 form, scoring 5 runs in the 4th inning. How did it start, though? It started by getting on base and bringing runners home one at a time. On Friday, it was Vladdy getting on base, Sanchez bringing him home. Then Schneider bringing home Sanchez, opening up the room for Valenzuela to hit it over the fence. Dalton Varsho later joined the fun with his first blast of the year on Friday, and he carried that momentum into Saturday when he hit another blast in the first. Unfortunately, our starting pitching was also vulnerable to the long ball. On Friday, our starter was 36-year-old Patrick Corbin, an MLB veteran who made his debut, filling in essentially for that Ponce spot until Savage is ready. He's an experienced lefty, but doesn't have a lot of pop, and it showed. He gave up 3 runs in the first and another homer in the 4th. And it was lucky that the Jays were able to recover after that. Unfortunately, on Saturday, though, it was a different story. Eric Lauer's fastball looked off. Like he was 2 miles an hour well below his season average. And he got beat up in the 3rd inning, giving up 7 runs. 7 runs, which included him loading the bases, walking home a run, then a 2-run single, and then a 3-run homer. And after a really strong first outing, Eric Lauer has not looked like himself. And there were people saying the numbers said he would be ripe for regression. It looks like that is happening. And while I do wonder if he's potentially still feeling the effects of the illness we know he suffered, it's very clear. He has a role to play on this team as a stretch guy, as, the 6th starter. But really, when Savage and Barrios both come back, he needs to move to the pen. Now, while the pitching has been lacking, there's something else that's really concerning me, and that's our defense. Last year, we had one of the best defenses in baseball. And so far this weekend, in addition to giving up home runs, we've had missed plays, not specifically errors, but missed plays due to a lack of focus that have led to runs against us. On Friday in the first inning, before Corbin gave up a 3-run homer, there were 2 infield hits that happened right in between the gap between Jimenez and Clement. And Jimenez was slow to get to both balls. And I think at least one of those should have been an out. And after those two guys got on, Ryan Jeffers hit a home run. On Saturday, with the bases loaded, Josh Bell hits a high, shallow foul ball. Varsho initially moves back on the contact. By time he moves forward to it, because it was really shallow, he can't catch the ball, and it drops, scoring 2 runs. And then the next batter hits a homer. So that was the ball game. If Varsho catches that ball with 2 outs, maybe the Jays have a chance of a comeback. I don't know. But I look and I say this. Jimenez, Varsho, these are great fielders, right? Jimenez has won a Gold Glove. Varsho's Gold Glove caliber. So what's happening? They're clearly not fully locked in yet. We saw Vladdy miss a throw on Friday too. This whole lineup is not fully locked in defensively. But with our injuries, both in our rotation and now in the batting order, we cannot afford this. So they're going to have to lock in. I'll have to say this. Things are looking pretty concerning. There is certainly time to recover, and our hope is that Springer's not dinged up really bad and Barger can get back soon. But there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. Right now, the team that's on the field is a little weak.